Do you guys dream about owning a home or a condominium down on the beautiful beaches of Alabama, say Orange Beach, Gulf Shores, or maybe even Fairhope? Then let me tell you about First Class Real Estate South Home Group's owner, Celeste Hagler. She has brokers down there in the beautiful beaches of Alabama to help you purchase the home of your dreams and to live where you love in the state of Alabama. You can contact Celeste Hagler at 205-861-5698. Contact Celeste Hagler today to help you live where you love in the state of Alabama.
Hi, this is Tim Brando with a reminder. Look out, you're about to feel the buzz of Stingray.
This is Stephen Ray, aka Stingray, coming to you live from Tuscaloosa, Alabama.
I'm Heath Hopkins. I'm here in DeSoto County, Mississippi, right outside of Memphis, Tennessee.
You know, Mark, I'm going to put you on the spot. Do you feel that responsibility to pay it forward and give some kid a chance coming up in the ranks, kind of like Tony did for you?
Why do you think I'm talking to Stingray tonight?
Thank you, man. I appreciate that.
No, I mean, look, no.
Hey, Stingray, here's the deal. When you get involved with Texas, it's like getting married to a stripper. and let me explain this. It looks good. It's kind of sexy on the surface. Yeah. But then you get the baggage, you get the drama, you get all that eventually comes with it. And that's what you get with Texas, and that's what the Big 12 learned.
And Heath, any thoughts on our show moving forward?
Hey, with the Stingray Show, if you don't like it, you better learn to love it, because it's the best show going today, baby. Woo!
And guess who decided to show back up for work after 2 weeks?
I'd like to make it 4. Can I double down now? Is there a button I can hit to double down?
I don't know, man. Dude, let me explain something to you, man.
I like the shirt, by the way, Steven. What do you got? Is that flowers? What is that on your shirt?
It's a Fun Friday edition of the Stingray Show, man. It's palm tree leaves.
Okay, palm tree leaves. Okay, gotcha.
Yeah. Okay, so the people have had to hear me ramble for 2 weeks. They have not heard anything from you. We are all wondering what happened on your trip in Key West and Key Largo. So the floor is all yours. Tell us all about your vacation.
We set up shop in Marathon, which is right in the middle of the Florida Keys, like square dab in the middle. It's actually a little bit lower than the middle, but anyway, you pull up a map. Without geography, you're nowhere. And then, like, one day we'd go up to Islamorada, and we went out to a sandbar. Which, Steve, this was the craziest thing about the sandbar. We go out to the sandbar, take the boat ride out there, and they've got like all the mats. The mats, you can walk on, and the float you can sit in, and paddle boards and that kind of stuff. They bring all that with them. So, you just get on the boat, you do your thing. They had a cooler and snacks on the boat. It was great. But you're on the boat with a bunch of people. You go to the sandbar with a bunch of people. There's all these boats out there. There's probably, I don't know, well over 100 boats, maybe over 200. I don't know, a lot of boats. And you just kind of hang out. This was the crazy thing. The water in the Atlantic Ocean in the Straits of Florida off the Florida Keys is hotter than any hot tub I have ever been in.
Mm-hmm.
The water is that hot. It is crazy. It was clear. It was beautiful.
You know why?
Oh yeah, because it's hot out there. It's the summer.
Well, that is the Gulf Stream. That is what they've known and called the Gulf Stream. And it goes all the way up the East Coast. It curves around Florida, goes up across the Carolinas, and then goes on up.
The other crazy thing that a lot of people don't know about the Keys, a couple of things. One, there's no beaches. There's beach erosion all through the Florida Keys.
Right.
Basically, you're on coral rock. The islands that are there, that's rock.
Mm-hmm.
The ones that don't have rock, that's sandbar, and they get bigger, they get smaller, they disappear, they come back. They change daily. They really do. They change a whole lot more after storms, tremendously. But there's not many beaches. You go there, but there's no waves, Stephen. There's such a huge coral reef out
Mm-hmm.
there that it breaks all the waves coming in off the Atlantic. And so it's like lake water. And so we go up to Cuba Springs, Arkansas, usually once a summer. We haven't been this year yet. But I remember telling my son and my wife, my oldest son, I was like, there is more chop at Huber Springs, Arkansas, at Greers Ferry Lake, than there is right now in the Straits of Florida.
Yep.
And the captain of the boat said, it's like this every day. But there were people, we went out, they don't call it deep sea fishing. They call it bottom fishing.
Mm-hmm.
But we went out, I don't know, we're probably 45 minutes off the coast. We're out in the middle there of the Atlantic, and we're fishing. We saw another boat out there, someone's personal boat. They were out there fishing. They were probably several hundred yards away. They decided to go back in. A guy jumped out and water skied. We're 45 minutes off the coast.
Wow.
But it's like lake water. But the crazy thing was, Stephen, when we were fishing, he said, yeah, it's about 60, 70 foot deep right here. You could see hundreds of nurse sharks swimming on the bottom. You could see the fish swimming on the bottom. It was amazing. But I'll say this, Stephen, I know you fish every day.
I try to.
Yeah, and God bless you. I hope I get back to that life. I had that life in my early 20s before I got married. I had a little pond in my backyard, and I used to go fishing every time I came home. Sometimes it was for 30 minutes. Sometimes it was for 3 hours. But here's the fun thing, or the depressing thing, I should say, about fishing there in the Florida Keys. When I'm fishing in the pond, I can't see the fish. When you are fishing and you're 60, 70 feet deep, you can see fish everywhere. And something will come by and the fish will swim up toward the top of the water. Do you know how frustrating it is when you haven't gotten a bite in 10, 15 minutes and you can literally count like 200 plus fish
right
in front of you? You're like, what's going on here?
Right.
But
hey, Heath, we do have a question that's come in.
Yeah, what's up? I'm sure I did see him. I didn't stop to count the toes. Hemingway's cats.
Yes.
A lot of people just love Hemingway and think he's the greatest ever, and that's okay if you do. I'm not going to doubt that, dispute it. I definitely respect the man and his work. I mean, obviously, high school kids are still reading him, and he's been dead and gone for many decades.
Right.
But his estate, there is so much money. Of course, that house was paid for and everything, and he had all this money, and it's just building, and they're bringing in money daily with all the people coming in. I want to say Hemingway's house costs more to go to than it does to Graceland, and Graceland ain't cheap.
Right.
But no, the all that money is there for his 5-toed cats. They said he has like 30 something cats on property, and but you have to be a five-toed cat to live on the property.
Right.
Have to be. But they also say that house is haunted, and the cats will not go downstairs toward the basement. Like they said, like you could pick up a cat and take him down, and they'll like start fighting you to get out of there. They say they hear weird noises there. The folks that work there hear weird noises and this and that coming from that basement. Which I was like, there's a basement in the Florida Keys. How in the world did that ever happen?
Right.
But yeah, but he had the first swimming pool in Key West. It's a beautiful pool, by the way.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, we skipped out on Hemingway's place. I figured my kids thought it would be boring. But yeah, we'd go up to Key. We'll travel through Key Largo. Then we went up to Alamorada. Then we'd go down to Key West. I got a fly on my house. So yeah, one day we're at the aquarium. One day we're at the Sea Turtle Hospital. One day we're going to the sandbar. One day we're Key West. One day we just hung out, went to the pool and chilled.
Right.
But Stephen, one thing I learned, it sounds like a bad word. It's not. Have you ever heard the term sargasm?
No. I've heard of sarcasm.
Right. Sargasm is some type of seaweed that has an algae on it.
Yeah.
And it doesn't smell in the water. But once it gets on land
And dries.
and starts drying, it smells like rotten eggs.
Yeah.
And so right before we got there was a huge amount that came all over the Keys.
Yeah.
They were trying to clean it up. They could not clean all of it up. So every now and again, you would get a whiff of it, like, oh my God. Like we only went to the pool one day. And the pool was right there by the beach. And like I said, there are hardly any beaches there. That beach was covered probably about 3 foot deep of seaweed everywhere.
So pool day.
Well, it's still, you still get a whiff of it every now and again at the pool. And you're like, oh. But yeah, but they said the week before you couldn't go anywhere on the island, anywhere. Where it just did not smell horrific.
Right.
Here's the crazy thing: the guys on the fishing tour, when we went out fishing one day, they said there's so much more coming in either this week or next week. It said more than what came in earlier, and earlier was the worst it's ever been.
Mm-hmm.
So I was like, man, they're not even going to have what's out there cleaned up before this other stuff gets here.
Mm-mm.
So yeah, if you're planning on going to the Florida Keys, go buy some Vicks Vapor Rub and put it under your nose, and good luck with that.
Hey, now everybody wants to know, and especially K-Bug, tell us about the food scene.
Man. We don't have enough time, Stephen. My youngest, my 7-year-old Jack, that turkey, Alabama Jack's is one of my favorite places on this entire planet. And we go to Alabama Jack's, and the geriatric band is there playing. And man, were they playing some great stuff. They were playing Merle and Willie, and I mean, they even played some Eagles songs, some Beach Boys songs. But everybody in that band was well over the age of 65. But they were up there rocking, doing their thing, and playing old stuff. It was great. Even some Ronnie Millsap. I know you enjoy that, Stephen. But they were playing. Great time. We order the food, and my son, of course, gets chicken nuggets and French fries everywhere he goes. And sometimes he gets a hamburger. Actually, that day he got a hamburger. I take that back. He got a hamburger that day.
Right.
He saw my shrimp, my Key West shrimp. And I don't know if you ever had the boiled shrimp at
and he wanted
Alabama Jack's. He said, can I have one? Now, we got the big platter, and it comes with conch fritters and crab cakes and fish and shrimp. Fish is very good. The shrimp is excellent. Yeah, you can have one. I gave him one of mine. That joker stopped eating his hamburger, and so I'm eating the fish and the conch fritters and everything. I look down. He has eaten all but 2 of my shrimp. And then he got mad at me when he asked for another one, and I told him no. He hadn't touched his hamburger. Hadn't touched that stinking cheeseburger. I was so, man, almost body slammed him right there through the table, just choke slammed him right there in the middle of Alabama Jacks. But of course, they didn't eat all their French fries on purpose to feed the fish. But yeah, if you've never gone to Alabama Jacks, Cartown Road, the last road you take to go into the Florida Keys, it's right there. It is a shout out to Dr. Andy Gillenton. He was my professor, my academic advisor when I was a student, and he went on to University of Miami after he left Starkville and taught there. He was at South Carolina, just retired here recently from South Carolina. He's also known as Dr. Tailgate. He's got his own social media presence and all that. But he told me about Alabama Jacks years ago. He's like, you've got to go there at your first stop. And every time I drive to Key West, usually we fly down, but if I'm driving, I am stopping by Alabama. Vacation doesn't start until you get to Alabama Jacks.
Right.
But ate at Alabama Jacks, ate at Two Friends down in Key West. Of course, my all-time favorite is frozen key lime pie on a stick dipped in chocolate. It is the greatest thing you can have. Had that. There was a place in Marathon, Stephen. It was like a hole in the wall. It's like your classic setup that every county in the South has, and usually you have multiple of them. But it's out off the beaten path. Of course, in the Keys, you can't be off the beaten path because everything's on one road over the Seas Highway, US 1. But it was right off US 1. It's called Fishtails, and it's like every catfish place in every county that everyone goes to, their favorite catfish place. Small. It was designed in like the late 70s, very clean, and they cooked fish. And that was another thing. Or we went deep sea fishing. What we brought off the boat, you probably have to walk maybe 40 yards. They share the same parking lot. Probably not even that far, maybe about 30 yards. You can take it in there and they will cook it up for you right then and there. I was like, man, this thing was swimming less than an hour ago and now I'm eating it. That's how fresh you can do it. But that place was called Fishtails. Had the absolute best desserts ever. My son got a thing called a shrimp burger. I tasted it. It was good. He loved it. I thought it was just good. That's all right. He asked one day, we were out running around. He said, Dad, do you think you can run in there and we can just get a shrimp burger to go? Like, don't tell your mother, but yes. So, yeah, we got him another one. But food was always excellent. Everywhere we went, we had good food. I'm trying to think the worst meal that we had. I'll tell you the worst meal we had. July 3rd, we were so tired from Sandbar and everything, and we were just completely beat. No one wanted to get ready and go out and eat. There was a KFC Taco Bell combo, and my kids, especially the little ones, were begging for Taco Bell. And my wife's like, just get me KFC, get the little ones. I was like, no, we are in the Florida Keys. I am not going to Taco Bell. And then the teenagers were like, Taco Bell? I'm like, oh, you got to be kidding me. And so, yeah, that was my worst meal. I had a Mexican pizza one night.
Wow.
So there you go.
All right. So, Heath, that is going to wrap up the TripAdvisor Key West story. So, dude, we are happy to have you back, though, man.
Yeah, I see Sheila. My favorite dish, Sheila,
Yeah.
it was definitely the bull shrimp there at Alabama Jacks. My second favorite, Sheila, I love oysters. And I stole the line from Jimmy Buffett's song, Tin Cup Chalice. Give me oysters and beer every day of the year. So for lunch, twice, I got to have oysters, and man, were they so fresh. So I know that's not the cool answer, but if I ever have oysters for lunch, it was not a good day. It was not a great day. It was a phenomenal day.
Yes.
And I got to do it twice. So there you go.
All right. Heath, are you ready to begin our Fried Bologna Friday edition of the Stingray Show?
I am, Steven. Let's see. When I was gone, you had Jason Campbell. You had Kevin Fan. Who else did you have on the show?
Man, a lot of people. I had Rosh Pierce Baker.
Okay.
Throw crimson marbles at their ass. That was a good show. I had a lot of people, man. It was a lot. It was really a good time.
I hate that I miss Kevin. Kevin and I were acquaintances in college. I don't say we were friends; we were acquaintances. And actually, I wasn't in college; I was in media. Well, actually,
Mhm.
I think my last year of college, I think Kevin was a red shirt. Um, yeah, my last year in college, Kevin was a red shirt. But I got into media, and I used to interview Kevin, and we hung out with some mutual people. But Kevin's been on the show twice now, and I have missed him both times, which is crazy because of all the guests we've had on, I probably knew him more than anybody, and I missed him. But Jason Campbell was great the first time we had him. I hate that I
Yeah.
missed that. And
And then we had Marcus Randall, the Bluegrass Miracle,
yeah,
and
wow.
then Jared Duke.
And
And Jared Duke is in his last semester before he becomes a doctorate of sports psychology.
wow, wow, good for Jared.
Yep.
So good for him.
Yep.
Great for him. That's fun. I'll make it short, Stephen. Um, I never was a Braves fan. I liked the Braves somewhat, but I wasn't a Braves fan. And it just seemed like everybody in the South's a Braves fan, which I was immediately like, nope, not going to do that. But I enjoyed watching the Braves, especially back when they had Smoltz and
Right.
Glavine and, Maddox and John Avery and those guys, Mark Wohlers. I enjoyed watching those teams with Big Cat, Andres Galarraga, and all those guys. But John Smoltz had an issue one year during the playoffs, and he was going to a sports psychologist, and they made him chew gum
Mm-hmm.
while he pitched, and it wasn't like he was way off the strike zone, but he kept missing just a little bit, and chewing gum. If you have a child or someone you work with, or even yourself, if you have ADHD, they say the number one thing if you got to do a task, especially paperwork, is give them gum.
Right.
For some reason, the movement of that kind of keeps things going and stays focused and rolls with that. So I always thought that was fascinating. But I remember Bob Costas during the playoffs that year is like, he's chewing his gum and he's striking them out. And I'm like, all right,
Right.
thanks, Bob. But yeah, but he after that season, he didn't chew gum anymore, and he threw strikes, and he was fine. But
Mm-hmm.
chewing gum and throwing strikes, John Smoltz, and he learned that from a sports psychologist.
Yep.
So there you go.
All right. Heath, today is July the 10th. It is only fitting that you come back to the show from Key West on, drumroll please, National Pina Colada Day.
I like the smells of pina colada. I'm not a big drinker. I don't really care for pina, but I absolutely love the smell of pina coladas.
You know you can get non-alcoholic though.
Yeah, I guess you could. Stephen, are you a big fan of the Rupert Holmes song "Escape"?
If you like pina coladas,
Yes.
no.
Yeah, I love that. I think that's
But
one
you
of
know what song I do like?
Garth Brooks, "Bring Me Two Pina Coladas."
Who put the lime in the coconut? I love that song.
Okay.
Who put the
So
lime in the coconut?
that Rupert Holmes song, "Escape." I think that is one of the greatest storytelling songs of all time.
Right.
Stephen, corporate America has taken over most of the radio stations in America, and they just kind of play the same songs over and over and over. And I remember when I was at the bank years ago, they would play on the River 104.5 Memphis. I would hear that at least once a day. But the fun thing is they would usually play one or two Ina Cetera's single hits, or they'd play one or two Chicago hits during the day. So there was kind of a running joke every time Peter Cetera would come on, whether it be Chicago or his solo work. I would always yell out, Peter Cetera. Just every single time.
Right.
It was a running joke. And so the days that I was sick or I was out or whatever, I had to go to training or wasn't there, whatever it was. They carried the tradition on, and I had an old friend from the bank text me probably here like less than 2 months ago. He said, still, every time I'm in the car or anywhere at a restaurant and a Chicago song comes on, the first thing I say is Peter Cetera, and I think of you. Oh, well, I appreciate. Can you start saying a prayer for me? Maybe that'll help me.
Right.
So yeah, there you go, man. But they used to play the Escape song at work all the time,
Mm-hmm.
and it was never at the same time every day. And so I would always get a little bit more excited when I heard it later in the afternoon. But I remember I'd be working. I'm like, man, it's 2:00. I haven't heard Escape yet. And you know, usually not boom, but I would start looking forward to it when I caught on.
Right.
I remember one time I did ask somebody at work, same guy that texted me. I was like, man, have they played Escape yet? Because what are you talking about? I was like, obviously you don't listen to the music as much as I do working, but yeah, the River 104.5
Right.
Memphis. That's our Christmas station here in Memphis.
All right. Heath, July the 10th. It is also National Kitten Day.
Okay. We had a cat. Oh, Stephen, this is a sad story. Are you ready? All right. We had this neighbor.
No.
She was old. Oh, well, I shouldn't say old. Yeah, I could say she's old. She was from Northern California, but she acted like she was from Southern California. I don't think I have to go into too much detail about that. Very entitled, very privileged. She never had any children. She was always stirring things up in the neighborhood. And so people like that, I always smile, I always be polite, I always speak to them first. Even when they're trying to push my buttons, I wish them well, walk away. And I was like, I'm not playing your games. Anyway, there was a cat one night. There was we have a restaurant here called Bon Sibo here in Hernando.
Mm-hmm.
There was a cat in the parking lot. It was a tiny little kitten. And my daughter had been wanting a cat. And this was a beautiful cat.
Mm-hmm.
And so anyway, we went to try to get it. It ran under our car. And it was a tiny little kitten. And so we finally got it. And my daughter was so happy. And so we weren't going to keep it in the house. We told her that from the beginning. We had it outside. And so anyway, we had that cat for like 3 weeks, and it was wonderful. And one day we didn't see her. And we lived on the golf course at the time, and we were looking for that cat. We could not find that cat. And my daughter, she's our oldest now. She's a senior. She's going to be a senior this year in high school. But I mean, she was like 6, 7 at the time. Just heartbroken about that cat. Just heartbroken about that cat. And we looked for that cat. We looked for that cat. We couldn't find it. And so there were some girls that lived on the other side of the golf course. They rode their bikes over there. They saw the cat. They were trying to steal our cat. Like, nope, that's our cat. So we thought maybe they saw the cat out, picked it up, took it to their house, but we were looking for the cat. Like, I can't remember how many years later, 5, 6 years later, we were moving and went over to the neighbor's house for something or whatever. She was not a good neighbor. She was not a good neighbor at all. Went over to the neighbor's house. I think we're actually going over there to tell them, like, hey, we sold the house. You're going to start seeing people come in and out. We're going to be moving things, this and that. Just kind of giving people a heads up. Guess what we find in that lady's house?
That cat.
That cat. I was so mad. I did not tell my daughter. Told my wife. But yeah, I was just heartbroken because years had gone by. Like, of course, that cat adjusted to, and that cat got to live inside that lady's house.
Right.
But I was like, and she knew that was our cat because she was in the front yard playing with it nonstop. She introduced the cat to her, this and that. She knew that was our cat. Yeah. So that lady moved shortly after. She moved down to, we heard, the Mississippi Gulf Coast. And I'm just glad I never have to see that lady because I was like, it's like if we were neighbors still, because we moved like a couple of weeks after that.
Right.
I was like, every time I saw her, I would have to stare her down and shoot lasers out of my eyes at her or something. But
Yep.
yeah, wasn't happy about that. Was not happy.
All right, Heath, let's go back to food. Now, my mother would absolutely love this day and probably will because she absolutely loves this food right here, as this could be her entire diet if she wanted it to be. Today is a delicacy that was originated out of Belgium, but they are called something else. National French Fry Day.
You remember when President Bush was in office and Jacques Chirac, he made Bush upset about something, or Bush made him upset about something, and people were pouring out their French wine in protest, which I thought was crazy. Like, you paid money for that wine, you're just going to pour it out. And then the president, said we're no longer going to call them French fries, we're going to call them freedom fries. So that always made me laugh. I don't know if anyone calls them freedom fries, but people of a certain age, I like dropping that. You'll be ordering, it's like, what's your size? Like, I would like freedom fries, please.
Yeah.
I always gets a chuckle at the table, but
So yeah, man, today is Pina Colada Day, Kitten Day, and then of course National French Fry Day.
Wow. Stephen, who has the best French fries?
Checkers.
Okay.
Checkers.
Do y'all have Freddy's?
I think we do.
Dude, I love some Freddy's fries. They are like super ultra skinny, but that fry sauce they give you, oh my dear Lord.
Right.
And I'm making it off the fry sauce. I'm making my prediction. Oh, the fries are good by themselves. But oh my gosh, that French fry sauce they have. Oh my, woo! I wasn't hungry to just then, Stephen. Now I want to go to Freddy's for lunch.
All right. Heath, what do you want to do now? Do you want to do deaths, because we got a lot, or do you want to start with the birthdays?
Let's get the deaths out of the way. Deaths always come first, man.
Okay. We have a gentleman who was born in 1908. He died in 1989. He is known as Mel Blanc, and he was known as the man of 1,000 voices because he was the voice of, just to name a few, Bugs Bunny, Woody Woodpecker, Daffy Duck, Porky the Pig, and Barney Rubble.
Whoa, that is a range. That is quite the range. That's very impressive.
Yep. So he died on this day in 89.
Oh, that's terrible.
Yep.
Stephen, of all those that you just mentioned, I think I watched every single one of them. You said Bugs Bunny, Daffy Duck, Porky Pig,
Woody Woodpecker, and Barney Rubble.
Yeah. I watched every single one of those growing up.
Right.
Out of that group, Stephen, what's your favorite character?
What's up, Doc?
Yeah, Bugs probably takes the cake on that.
Yep.
I wonder if he got paid any money monthly, or does his estate still? Because doesn't Six Flags do the stuff with like Bugs Bunny and stuff?
I have no
You know,
idea.
Mickey Mouse has, or Walt Disney has Mickey Mouse, and I always
Right.
thought Six Flags had the Warner Brothers Looney Tunes guys. I wonder if him just being the voice of it, if he gets any love off that monthly. Hope he does. Hope his family's still getting paid
Yep.
by Six Flags. But yeah, as long as those things are still airing, they're going to get paid. Speaking of, Stephen, forgive me, you might know this better than I do, because this show happened it came out when I was like toward the end of middle school, going into high school, and I didn't care anything about family shows. But oh, what's the show with all the girls and the three dads? I had the Olsen twins in it. Oh gosh, they lived in San Francisco. What?
Ask Alexa.
What was? Why am I drawing a blank here?
I don't know.
I know someone watching knows the answer to this. What was the show that happened in San Francisco with all the daughters and the dads, the uncles living in the house?
Oh, Full House.
Full House. That's it. Thank you. So the middle daughter in Full House, I
Yeah.
heard her complain about this right before I went on vacation, that they do not get paid hardly much, if anything, when these shows are streaming. Her check that she got for the quarter, 1 penny.
Wow.
And she just said, I'm not making any money. Now, I'll say this, like shows like, and I'm making up a show, like Dukes of Hazzard or Dallas or Knight Rider or something that was in the 80s. They played it in the 90s, kind of played it there in the 2000s. Well, they don't play that stuff much today on
Right.
shows like TBS and TNT and other channels. They don't show that. And so then it goes to streaming service. And I'm guessing a lot of people don't watch that,
Mm-hmm.
And so I don't know if the streaming is by people who watch it or if it's just by, and that's what I'm guessing it is, because I know, like in television, I know this for a fact. I remember we tried to get Magnum PI at the station I was general manager of back when I was in television. I was general manager, and I loved Magnum PI. It's still my favorite show to this day. And it's like, I wonder how much it would cost to get Magnum.
Mm-hmm.
Magnum had been off the air for almost 20 years, and it was still going to cost us like $850,000 a year.
Jesus.
And I was like, nope. And Tom Selleck is going to get a check from that each month, each quarter, and he should. He made the show famous, but so did all the other actors in the show. They would get a check for that. And so now that when things go to streaming, it's not as big. And there you go.
Right.
I will say this, Stephen. There's a guy, acquaintance here. We had dinner with these people last night. He's not my friend. He's their friend, but sometimes we'll get together for July 4th or Memorial Day or something and have a cookout. And I get to see this guy once, 2-3 times a year. His name's Joe. Joe's done some acting gigs. Anyway, there was a made-for-TV thing about Elvis where he played Colonel Parker, Elvis's manager.
Right.
And he didn't have a lot of scenes in the movie. He didn't have a lot of parts. But anyway, we were all sitting around and eating hamburgers and everything, laughing, cutting up like everyone does at a backyard barbecue. And someone said, Joe, how things are going? How things been? Or someone said, Joe, how things been? I heard that you played in an Elvis movie one time. He said, you know what? He goes, I randomly got a check in last week. It aired over in Europe, and we didn't know it. He said, but randomly at times, he did the show like 12 years ago, 14 years ago. He said, but randomly at time, I'll get a check in the mail. He goes, I don't get anything every month. I don't get anything every quarter. There's been years where I didn't get anything. And then all of a sudden, one month, there'll be a random check that comes in that's for $1,100.
Wow.
And I was like, what? So I always thought it was cool. So that's why I like asking Olin about his. Olin seems to get a check more and more,
Yep.
but just like Olin talks about how his checks kind of dip down. Full House, the checks are kind of dipped down, but she said her residual check was 1 penny.
Right.
That was sad. Yeah, she
All
said the
right.
streaming services are killing actors, killing them.
Now, Heath, are you familiar with Clement Clark Moore?
He was a track and field silver medalist for Canada back in the 1932 Olympic Games. I have no idea who that guy is.
He is an American theology professor. However, he was best known for his poem. And Heath, we are going Christmas in July, a visit from St. Nicholas in 1822, which begins, "'Twas the night before Christmas."
Oh, wow.
So Clement Moore wrote in 1822, "'Twas the night before Christmas." He died on this day, July the 10th of 1863.
How many other things have you read that starts with "twas"?
Nothing.
I've always wondered that. I was like, was that like their slang term back then? Was he
Right.
being cool hip hop? Was he trying to be they used to say "twas" back in the 1700s. I want to bring that back that's how I'm going to start my book. Like, I always wondered where "twas" came from.
Right.
So, yeah, I actually remember trying to write something in 5th grade and I put "twas" in. And I was like, we just read that book. And she said, yeah, but we're not reading the book. You're writing a sentence. And I was like, why can I use "twas"? Because it's not a word. And I was like, well, it is a word. It started with the book you
Yes.
read us here
Right.
the other day.
All right.
Yeah, wasn't happy about that one. 5th grade.
We now have an actor who is very famous, and he was very famous back in 62 and 65. He was also a world-class bridge player, and he is well known for Lawrence of Arabia in 62 on to 2015. On this day, we lost Omar Sharif.
Oh, wow. Charlie Heston in that movie.
Yeah.
Um,
So Omar Sharif and Dr. Shivago.
Dr. Zhivago, yeah.
I hope I said that correctly. He also
Dr.
played in
Zhivago.
that in 65.
Yeah.
So yeah, today we lost Omar Sharif.
I cannot give you anything about Omar Sharif.
Right.
Was very well known and respected back in his day. But yeah, I have very little knowledge and depth. Other than those 2 movies that you mentioned, I couldn't tell you another one. I know he's been in a ton,
Yeah.
but I just wasn't there. Stephen, very random. I learned a while back, several years ago, maybe even a decade ago or more, if you were in the movie, any kind of part of the movie, or worked on the movie, Wizard of Oz,
Yeah.
you were like extreme royalty in Hollywood. Like, those people do not wait for coffee. They do not wait for
Right.
a table. They get to walk in, go to the front of the line. And people are like, who is that? He was in charge of lighting for Wizard of Oz. Oh, wow. And the guy would be 91 years old or whatever it might be. But if you were an actor in that, like, you were considered, a superstar.
Right.
I always kind of smiled at those kind of things of old Hollywood. So how entitled and everything it is. And, I used this term back in the 90s, California, the land of the fruits and nuts.
Yes.
Yeah. But at least they do show respect to their elders, the ones that came before them.
Right.
You always like hearing that. But, Steven, I mean, what movie came out? I mean, is that going to be like the something in the 80s of it? Is it going to be like Back to the Future one day when those guys get older? Like, you know who that was?
I would have said the only thing that would eerily similar would be Leonardo DiCaprio and Kate Winslet in Titanic.
That
Because
was a
that
big
movie
movie. Well, here,
was
I'll,
huge.
I'll throw something out at you. Jaws.
Yeah,
Not a lot of people in that cast. A lot of people weren't actors in that
right.
cast. So a movie like Jaws. I mean, a lot of those people aren't with us anymore. They're getting older. But
Yeah,
it's just like, hey, you know who that kid is, don't you? That was the
yeah,
kid running out of the water after
right.
the guy got ate, or that was the baby on the beach crying when everybody was running out of the water. Like I wonder if those people get that kind of love.
Right.
Have they reached that status yet? But yeah,
All right, Heath. Let's move. Oh, we got one more death, and this one is sad because he was one of the best selling classical artists and still is. And he is a recipient of the Presidential Medal of Freedom in 1977. He is an American conductor selling over 50 million records. Today in 79, we lost Arthur Fiddler.
50 million records is a lot of records. I mean, usually you don't make $1 a record. Some guys do, but usually you don't. But
Right.
even if he made 50 cents a record, Stephen, that's $25 million. And $25 million is a lot of money today. $25 million back in the 70s and
Yeah.
before, oh my dear Lord.
Yeah.
That's a lot of money.
All right, Heath, let's go to birthdays. And I've got a picture of one of the most iconic roles that this gentleman played in. He is an American actor. Unfortunately, we lost him in 1993. He was born in 1926. Can you tell me who this guy is?
Oh, that's Herman Munster.
Fred Gwynn. Now,
Yeah.
who is he playing in this character?
He's the judge in My Cousin Vinny. I can't remember his name, but I know he was the
Yes,
judge.
yes, sir.
He was in Pet
Chamberlain.
Cemetery. He was in The
Yep.
Monsters.
Yep. Hey, Chamberlain Holler is his character name in My Cousin Vinny right there in 92. He was also Herman the Monster from 64 to 66. He died on this, or he was born on this day in 26 and unfortunately passed away in 93.
Stephen, I know we don't do Fave 5 anymore, but if we had a Fave 5 of TV theme songs,
Yeah.
I do believe the Munsters would be in my Fave 5. I love that theme. It's kind of got that surfer rock guitar to start the beginning.
Yeah.
But those tubas that come in, ba-na-na, ba-na-na,
Yeah.
ba-na-na, ba. Love that song. Always have.
Yeah.
But Herman Munster, man, he was always seemed like a happy-go-lucky fella. It weirded me out a little bit when he was in Pet Cemetery. Of course, that movie came out when I was probably like 7th grade, somewhere
Right.
after 7th grade, going into 8th grade. Remember watching that movie, and I'm like, man, that's Herman Munster. He was always happy-go-lucky, and then he got killed and all that. But a couple of years
Yeah.
later, he's in My Cousin Vinny, and wasn't the happy-go-lucky judge, but he
Right.
kind of an easygoing, chill kind of dude.
He
but
Are
loved him.
you mocking me? What is with that suit? Well, that was the only suit that was in the store. So if you say one more thing, I'm gonna hold you in contempt of court.
Oh man,
I
but
love it.
you gotta love. Um, Not that he was a physical actor,
Right.
but his facial expressions
Yes.
told the story before he ever opened his mouth. Look at that face. Like you could almost guess what he was going to say and how he was going
Yeah.
to say it.
Yeah.
And that was the beautiful part of his acting
Yeah.
is he would kind of telegraph what's about to happen so you anticipated it and kind of leaned in, and those usually are set up for the best jokes.
Hmm.
Um, so yeah, but kind of like you were talking about, are you mocking me? Like he was building that up,
Yep.
until so you kind of had that you had that emotion knowing that it was coming. It kind of draws you into the
Yeah.
moment. So, and that's what great actors do. They
Yeah.
they kind of draw you into the moment, and he had that face that could just do it. But I always wondered, did he play basketball in high school and college? Did he even
Yeah,
go to
probably.
college? Um, Man, he looked like he could have just been a force out there. He, heaven forbid, if he was an offensive lineman, those shoulders.
Yes.
I mean, he was a big dude.
Yep. All right. Heath, are you ready to go to boxing? Today
Always.
is the birthday of a gentleman who was born in 1922. He died, unfortunately, in 2017. He is in the American Hall of Fame of Boxing, and his name is known as Raging Bull.
Oh, that was a great movie. Um,
It's called Raging Bull.
yeah, I mean, I'm sitting there going through
He knocked out
Robert De
Sugar Ray.
Niro.
Yeah, he knocked out Sugar Ray Robinson.
Hmm.
Yep.
Um, he was that movie done by Martin Scorsese. Scorsese's my favorite director of all time. Love,
Right.
love Martin Scorsese. Um, but Scorsese did that movie. He did it in black and white in the 80s, which was a little bit of a shock. Robert De Niro killed that part. He was phenomenal in it. But the one scene I love in that movie is you couldn't knock me down. You couldn't knock me down. Robert De Niro, he got in trouble in the fight and he was getting beat up, but he was able to stay on his feet. And I mean, he was knocked silly. You couldn't knock me down. Mocking him. Oh, I loved it. Loved it. Loved it. Loved it. Loved it. Um, Raging Bull, kind of a serious movie. Martin Scorsese, all of his movies were intense. And I guess that's why I loved his movies. If you're not familiar with Martin Scorsese, he even did the bad video of Michael Jackson.
Yeah.
He was a New Yorker. A lot of his movies take place in New York, but Scorsese, he did the movie The Departed, which took place in Boston. Scorsese did Goodfellas. He did Casino. Goodfellas, still to this day, one of my all-time favorite movies. That's
Yeah.
easily in my top 5, easily. But yeah, great movie, Raging Bull. Scorsese did it, and just love it. I think he also did The Color of Money. Scorsese did, but I can't remember if he did that one or not. Maybe he did or didn't. I'll have to study that one. But yeah, love Raging Bull. Hadn't seen that movie probably since college, but yeah, loved it.
Okay, here we go. We also have an American baseball player who was born on this day. He is 71 years old and he played in Major League Baseball for 21 years for the Montreal Expos and then the Chicago Cubs.
Oh, I
He
know who
was
this is.
who?
Is this the Hawk, Andre Dawson? My son, Jack, my youngest, his middle name is Dawson after the
Mhm.
Hawk.
Yep.
I
Today's his birthday.
absolutely adored Andre Dawson.
Yep. Today is his birthday. He won 8 Gold Glove awards, was an 8-time All-Star and a most valuable player in 87. He was inducted into the Hall of Fame in 2010 and Rookie of the Year in 77.
The great story about Andre Dawson, and everyone loves a comeback story. Andre Dawson played all those years with the Expos, had gone through some injuries. Word was out that he was done. His knees were shot, and his batting average had dipped a little bit. But he was just like, no, I was dealing with a nagging injury this year. The year before that, I was dealing with whatever issue it was. And he said, I haven't dropped off. I feel like I'm about to hit my best years. His contract ends with the Expos. The Expos do not sign him, which sent a red flag to every team in Major League Baseball that he's done. He's washed up. His time is over.
Mm-hmm.
Steven, he shows up at Chicago Cubs spring training camp unannounced.
Right.
Shows up, just walks in like, hey, everybody. And they're like, is that Andre Dawson? What is he doing here? Shows up unannounced to the Cubs camp. He could have picked any camp. Walked into the Cubs camp and just said, hey, I kind of want to do my thing. Let me try out. If I don't make it, you can cut me. He said, but I think I got a lot to give.
Right.
Goes out there without a contract. Goes through all spring training, has a really good spring training, and they're like, dude, he can help us. He can help us win. Like, he's one of our better performers. Goes out that year, hits something like 45 home runs, 48 home runs, destroys it. But this is what he told him after he made the team at spring training. He goes, just pay me what you think I'm worth. Whatever you think I'm worth, just pay me that.
Right.
It was a 1-year contract and was voted I can't remember if it was that year or the year after, but was voted MVP of the National League.
Right.
Nobody wanted him. Everyone thought he was washed up. He had to force himself on a team.
Yes.
A Major League Baseball team had to force himself on a team.
Yep.
Was best player in the league, voted by everybody. Well, back then it was the writers, but was very well earned, and there was no doubt about who was the best player in the league. But I will say this, Stephen. The Hawk, Andre Dawson. The reason they call him the Hawk is he just got this, his resting face looks like he's got this scowl.
Right.
And they said he looks like a hawk sitting on a line, just looking down, looking for prey. You get this mean-looking resting face. They say it just looks like a hawk ready to pounce on you.
Right.
That's how he got the name, the Hawk. But he still to this day is the most intimidating batter I have ever seen at the plate. When he stood up there and he was batting and he took the barrel of that bat and looked over the barrel of the bat at the pitcher and kind of waved it at him a couple of times and got up. Oh, man. I copied that stance as a kid, thinking that I was going to be just as intimidating as Andre Dawson. I was nowhere close to being intimidating as Andre Dawson.
Right.
But, man, the Hawk. And I hated the Cubs. But I sure did watch WGN. I didn't care for Ron Sandberg. Ron Sandberg was a phenomenal player. I'm not taking anything away from the late Ron Sandberg. Like Sean Dunston, just because he could fire it from shortstop. Vince Law thought was a gritty third baseman. I love Leon Durham over at first base. Loved Mark Grace. But I watched those Cubs games for one person, and that was definitely for Andre Dawson, the Hawk. Loved him, man. Loved how he played the game. And when Ron Sandberg got into the Hall of Fame, and he got in before the Hawk did.
Right.
Ron Sandberg said, he's the one that taught me how to play this game every day and told me how to do it, and I better do it. That's leadership, brother. And the Hawk. I cannot say enough nice things about that guy.
All right. Heath, we got one more birthday, and this one hits home close to me. Because, first off, I do want to say he is known for, here in America, of the TV show. He is the main star of the Western The Rebel. Have you ever heard of it?
What is it?
The Rebel.
I don't think I have.
Okay. He is then also known for 2 kaiju movies in Japan. He is known for 1965's Godzilla vs. Monster Zero, and then later on that year, Frankenstein Conquers the World. Unfortunately, we lost him due to a drug overdose in 68. He was born in 31, the late great Nick Adams.
Wow. How many Godzilla movies was he able to be a part of?
One, and then the other one was Frankenstein Conquers the World.
Wow. Wow, crazy. You know, it's fun to see people are gifted. I do believe everyone's gifted in a certain way.
Yep.
And sometimes we can't show our gifts to the world. Sometimes we can. And the ones that we can, we celebrate those guys. You know, they were talking about Stephen. I drove. You know this. I drove all the way from from Marathon, Florida. There in the Florida Keys, all the way back home.
Yes.
19 hours in the car, almost 1,200 miles. I am still hurting and miserable and tired.
Why did you do that?
Because my daughter had missed one day of band camp, and the son started football camp, and it's just what. And I'm so far behind. I was far behind before I left on vacation, and I was like, man, I got to get back. I have not been able to do hardly as much as I wanted to. But when you're in the car and you're listening, thank you, Alan Hunter from 80s on 8 on XM Radio. You get to hear all these stories. Mac McAnally and Zach Brown told a lot of stories on Radio Margaritaville that I listened to. But I got to hear one. I got to hear Steve Gorman tell a story recently, right before I left on the trip. Or maybe it was coming, I can't remember. But Steve Gorman of the Black Crows was telling stories, and he has the absolute best stories. He's got a syndicated radio show that you don't need XM for. You can hear his show on rock stations all across America. But was listening to him tell a story, and he was telling a story about the late Eddie Van Halen, which Van Halen is my favorite band. But he was talking about Alex Van Halen, his brother, the drummer, and he goes, "We all know that Eddie is considered the guitar god. Like he is the greatest guitar player that ever lived." And he said, but the thing is Alex Van Halen is one of the best drummers that has ever walked the planet. And he said, in my opinion, I think he is a top 5 drummer ever, but no one will give him the credit for that because of his brother Eddie. Like, hey, 2 brothers can't have the title. Of being the best. And so he said, Alex got overlooked, but Alex kind of played that to his advantage. Now there's rumors, if you're a Van Halen freak like I am and love everything about the band, there's been rumors that Alex manipulated Eddie and everybody in the band, and Alex was really the one pulling the strings, but he made Eddie be the bad guy. That's how he manipulated him and this and that. And so it was really Alex running the band, not Eddie. And
right.
There's a reason the whole thing fell apart, and it never worked with any lead singer because there was always jealousy and everything going on. But that was the rumor of things. But to hear them tell stories of all these rock stars about Alex Van Halen and how great he was, and shared his stuff with the world, his music with the world, his drumming, and he said people still cannot do the drum solo from Hot for Teacher, the Van Halen song, my favorite Van Halen song. He said no one can copy it. Like, people still don't know how he does that.
Right.
The drum solo to start that song. He said many people have tried, many people have gotten close, but they can't get it. And I was like, that blew my mind. So when you hear about these guys, whether it be an actor or a special effects artist or a coach, or anybody, a teacher. They did something different and they did it better than anybody else. And you just look back at that and just reflect on them. And you just think that, you thank them for sharing that art to the world. And as the late Tony Bennett always said, always let other people appreciate your art. Stop and listen and enjoy what they say.
All right, let's go to history because we've got a lot of history to cover, but they're going to be quick. Can you tell me what state becomes the 44th state of the Union in 1890 on this day? And it is known as the Equality State.
Known as the what state?
Equality.
Washington State?
Wyoming.
Oh, I knew it'd be out west.
Yeah.
Wow. Would not have guessed Wyoming.
So Wyoming on this day becomes the 44th U.S. state.
Huh.
All right, in 1890. Now, can you tell me what happened on this day in 1913? And it is a Guinness Book of World Records. And it's never been done before.
Johnny Johnson ate the most pie tips consecutively under 1 minute. I have no idea.
Death Valley, California hit the hottest day recorded in U.S. history at 134 degrees.
Oh, my dear Lord.
And that has never been topped since.
Stephen, it's been hot here recently.
Right. Heath, when you say the hotter the better, I think that's too hot.
Yeah, I'm with you on that one. I would like to be out in that just to say that I did it.
Right.
I don't know how long I want to be out in it.
Right.
That's brutal. That's
all
brutal.
Right. Do you want to move now to some music history on July the 10th? Because we've got a lot.
Yeah, let's do it.
What was released on this day in 1964, and it was a studio album?
Beatles did a lot of albums back then.
It was a Beatles.
You're shaking your head. So going with the Beatles. And which album was it?
It's Been a Hard Day's Night. That was their third studio album, and they released it on this day in 64.
I think 8 Days a Week is on that album. Don't mark me on that.
All right.
But yeah, the Beatles. I like the Beatles. I don't love the Beatles. I like them, though.
Right. All right. Which song gets to number one on this day in 65? And it was the band's first number one U.S. single.
You kind of gave it away a little bit there, saying the band's first number one single. The first thing that comes to mind is the Rolling Stones.
You're right, but what song?
This is why you don't play Trivial Pursuit with me.
What song?
I can't get no satisfaction. I have no idea.
Bingo. Yeah? Bingo. All right.
That's the oldest thing I could think of theirs. So there you go.
Can you also tell me, in 65, we had I Can't Get No Satisfaction. What else is released on this day in 65? And it was a duo hit.
Ooh, duos of 65. Oh, that's going to be a hard one. This is probably before the Bee Gees, so I'm going to roll that out. Because Barry Gibb and Barbra Streisand did some stuff that was in the 70s. 65 duos. Elvis did some duos, but that went to like the 70s.
Right.
Who would have done some famous? Yeah, go on, tell me.
I got you, babe.
Wow, Sonny and Cher. I would have thought that would have been early 70s, maybe late 60s. I would have not guessed that.
1965.
Yeah, I would have not guessed 65 at all.
Yep. That was one of their most iconic duets, and that was released in 65, as well as I Can't Get No Satisfaction. Oh, and there's one more. This one is a foundational soul track, which was released in 1965.
Hit me with it.
In the Midnight Hour.
Wow. Wow.
Wilson Pickett.
Yeah. Man, so much great music. That was one thing I can say driving back. I listened to a lot of 80s and so many great songs. There was a song I didn't like. I'd immediately go down to the 70s. If I didn't like that, I'd go down to Pop Rocks, Channel
Right.
6 on XM Radio.
Yep.
But yeah, just it's always fun to hear some of these songs. But I always love the stories behind the songs. But
Yes.
you know, I heard yesterday, Stephen, we lost Bonnie Tyler,
Yes.
and Alan Hunter was talking about this yesterday. She had vocal cord surgery, and she had some notes taken off, which gave her her raspy sound,
Mm-hmm.
and she just leaned into it. And said she had a beautiful voice before, but she's known for her voice after the surgery.
Right.
And it said, but she leaned into it from the get go. It says, I think it's more unique now. And was it ever? But yeah, I didn't care so much about Bonnie Tyler. She had some fun music. She had some good stuff. But yeah, Stephen, we're just at the age now. And everyone's going to be at the age where we're losing people that we listen
Yes.
to.
Yes. Yes.
You know, I've had several friends here recently. You know, they're losing a parent.
Yep.
And it's sad. We're at that age now where that's happening way too often.
Yes.
But we're losing the people that we listen music to, watched in movies and TV shows, and it's going to happen to all of us, man.
Yeah.
We're going to go through this stage, and eventually, it's going to happen to us.
So Heath, can you tell me what song was released on this day in 1967, and it won her 4 Grammy Awards? And in the opening line, it goes, "It was the 3rd of June."
Oh, oh, Stephen, I need multiple choice. If I'm not mistaken, she had dark hair.
Yes. Yes.
I see her face. I see her saying, I want to say she was wearing like an orange dress. The video, or whatever TV show she's singing. Oh, it's the 3rd of June.
Yep. Yep. K-Bug got it.
And so Bobby Gentry. There you go.
Ode to Billy Joel.
Yep, there it is. Thank you.
Ode
That's
to
why I
Billy
needed multiple
Joel.
choice.
Yep, that was recorded on this day in 67. All right, we've got 2 more music things, and then we'll go to movies briefly. Can you tell me who filed for divorce on this day in 1975, 10 days after their marriage?
I do believe this has to do with one of the Allman brothers, Greg Allman.
Yes, but who?
Wasn't it Cher?
American singer and actress Cher, at 28, files for divorce from musician Greg Allman 10 days after their marriage. However, they reconcile but separate 2 years later in 77, and officially divorced in 79.
Dude, I have heard Greg Allman's book is the best book
Yep.
written by someone from rock and roll, and they just said it was extremely no holds bar, way over the top in your face.
Yep.
Like every other page shocks you. I have never read that book, but they said him talking about the share stuff. It was detailed, and I was like, "Wow, I've got to read that book."
Right.
Every time someone brings up Greg Allman, I'm like, "Don't talk about the book. Don't talk about the book."
Right.
And people are like, "Oh, I didn't know there was a book," which is fine by me. But I've always wanted to read that book. Maybe I need to make the time and try to wrap that up before the end of the summer. But
All
I
right.
heard that book is phenomenal. What else you get for music?
One thing left, and then we'll go to movies. Can you tell me in 1979 who began their 4-month prison term for tax evasion?
What year?
79.
It's not Willie Nelson, is it?
No.
Yeah, because he got out of it.
I did not know this. I did not know this.
Was it James Brown?
No. Think the twist.
Chubby Checker?
Chuck Berry.
Wow.
Chuck Berry, tax evasion for $200,000.
Which is not terrible these days, but back then that was a lot of money.
Yes. So Chuck Berry, 4 months in prison for tax evasion that started today in 79.
Wow. Crazy of the things about society and think. You know, see, but I don't know that situation at all. Don't know, and I'm speaking 100% out of ignorance on this. He could have had a bad CPA. He could have had a CPA that overlooked something. He could have done it himself and try to hide it. But you would like to think those guys back then had somebody looking after them and that kind of stuff. Maybe not.
Right.
But you would think someone from the studio or something would kind of watch it. And maybe they were the example of, hey, we can't have another Chuck Berry incident.
Right.
We need to start putting people into place here. But yeah, terribly sad. I remember Scott McKinney that had the great show Southern Sports Tonight, syndicated radio show back in the early 2000s, and it was an SEC show. I remember he talked about Willie Nelson. He said he should be an American hero because he was able to get out $10 million of unpaid back taxes.
Right.
And he came up with the idea of how about I do a concert that helps the American farmer and called it Farm Aid. And the reason he did Farm Aid was to get out of paying his taxes and jail time.
Right.
And Farm Aid was a big deal. And after he met his requirement, he's like, I'm not doing this anymore.
Right.
I wish we still had Farm Aid.
Yes, awesome.
So I know they brought it back and it would go away. They bring it back, but I wish Farm Aid was something like we did every single year.
All right. We have 5 movies that were released on this day. We will begin in 1981, and I'm sure your kids have watched this movie. Can you tell me what Walt Disney movie was released in 81?
I'm not going to say Benji or any of the Witch Mountain movies. I'm not going to say Swiss Family Robinson.
It's animated.
American Tail, that was like toward the late 80s.
Mm-hmm.
Early 80s animated. I mean, that's well after Dumbo. Mermaid was in the 90s.
Right.
I'm drawing a blank, Stephen. What was it?
The Fox and the Hound.
Oh yeah, yeah.
The Fox and the Hound, 1981, July 10th.
You know, if I was thinking, I might have guessed Bambi, but I think Bambi came out in the 70s.
Yes.
But yeah, Fox and Hound. I remember Fox and
All
Hound.
right.
What was the owl's name in Fox and Hound? You remember that owl?
Have no idea.
Yeah, I don't either.
All right. John Carpenter did a movie in 81 called Escape from New York. And that was released on this day in 81.
Never saw it. Always wanted to see it. That's a cult classic. Everyone loves that movie.
Yeah.
That was big time. But Stephen, I'll say this. I watched a movie the other night. I watched the remake of The Running Man with Glenn Powell.
Mm-hmm.
My son wanted to watch it, my 15-year-old son, and I was like, yeah, all right, yeah, put it on. And so I told him, I was like, that was a Stephen King book. They did this movie back in the 80s with Arnold Schwarzenegger. And, I was kind of like, yeah, I'm not really too keen. Richard Dawson from Family Feud, the original host of Family Feud, and I still think the best host, and I really like Steve Harvey.
Mm-hmm.
But, Richard Dawson, who kissed every single woman on that show.
Yes.
He was the bad guy in the movie The Running Man with Arnold Schwarzenegger.
Right.
And it did a phenomenal job with that. And so I kind of had my heart set that this is not going to be good. It's not going to be anywhere like the original. That was one of the better movies I have seen in a long, long time.
Right.
Strong storyline, great acting, wonderful action. Josh Brolin plays Killian, the Richard Dawson character. He's kind of the bad guy in it. Nails it, kills it. But Glenn Powell, I was like, I want to see Arnold and this and that and all these former football players. And the one thing you don't get is to see the former bad guys from the first movie, but dude, super intense movie.
Right.
Great movie. Catch it on Prime. I think it's on Prime or Netflix, one or the other. We watched it for free, whatever it was. Well, not for free. We had a subscription each month.
Right.
But, yeah, check it out because it blew my mind at how good that movie was. So check it out.
All right. 3 more. We will begin in 85. Can you tell me what this is the third installment of a film that came out in 85?
First thing that comes to mind is Rocky 3.
Nope.
All right. Nope. I don't think it's the Aliens movie. You know what? Does it have Harrison Ford in it?
I'm not sure.
So you're not sure if it's Indiana Jones?
No, it's not. It's not that. No.
Okay.
It's not that.
85. Is it the Star Wars movies?
No.
85, third installment. Oh, my dear Lord, please tell me it's not Jaws 3D.
No.
Okay.
No.
Third installment. So it's a franchise.
Would this help you? Beyond Thunderdome.
Oh, we're talking about Mad Max. Yeah. The third movie came out in 85?
1985 in July the 10th.
Wow.
Yep.
Because there was Mad Max in the Thunderdome.
Yep.
And then the third movie was
that one was that one was Beyond the Thunderdome.
Beyond the Thunderdome.
Yep.
So I think, don't mark me on this, Mad Max was the first one. Mad Max and the Thunderdome was the second one.
Right.
Mad Max Beyond the Thunderdome was the third one.
Yep.
Wow. Mel Gibson, God bless you.
Yep. All right. Now, I've never seen this movie. I've heard a lot of things about it. We're moving 2 years later. It is a Vietnam War masterpiece. Full Metal Jacket was released on this day.
Super intense movie.
Right.
My father fought in Vietnam. I was in the Marine Corps, and he said that's the closest thing of it being accurate. Which scared me as a kid.
Right.
He said that's the closest thing that he said it's nowhere close to being accurate, but that's the closest thing that Hollywood's ever done to making it accurate.
Right.
And he said there's no heroes in war. There's none. He said all these other movies that you see about war, there's always a hero. He goes, there's no heroes in war.
Right.
Everybody has to be heroic. Everybody has to do things. Everyone has to sacrifice. And yeah, but he talked about Full Metal Jacket. I remember as I was probably 10, 11 years old. This my father's a wonderful man, a phenom of a man. This was a bad parenting part on him, and he would probably agree with me on this today, or maybe not. But I was like 11 years old, and he let me watch Full Metal Jacket with him during Christmas break.
Right.
And there was this scene in Full Metal Jacket when they're in boot camp, and Arlie Emery, the drill sergeant, who was a real drill sergeant in real life, they wanted someone like, we need to sell this, and I said, well, this guy just retired. He's a real drill sergeant, and I think it was Arlie Emery's first role, and so they're sitting there and they're singing "Happy Birthday to Jesus," and you know, he makes the statement of, you know, God loves Marines. Marines keep having stocked with fresh bodies. And I was like, oh my gosh, this has scared me.
Right.
You know, this man's talking about killing for fun. You know, so I saw it as an 11-year-old boy. And he said, Jesus was here first. That's why you give your hearts to him. He goes, but your butt belongs to me. Of course, he didn't use the word butt. And there's
Right.
to use during that thing.
Yeah.
But I remember that whole scene, like I was like taken back, like, what is this?
Right.
And I was like, this isn't, you know, an 11-year-old shouldn't be watching that scene.
Yeah.
My father almost fell off the couch. He was laughing so hard. I'm over here scared to death as an 11-year-old. My father is laughing so hard he's fallen off the couch, which scared me even more.
Right.
Of what was going on in that entire situation. Look, war is a super ugly thing.
Yeah.
And, I hope no one ever has to go through it or experience it. I think all wars are about money. I think every war in the history of this world, not just our country, of the world, I think every single one of them was about money, land, which is money, greed, which is money, power, which is money.
Yeah.
Oil, which is money. I believe every single one of these wars are about money, to the exception of one, and that would be the Spartans and Trojans, Helen of Troy, the face that launched, what was it, 10,000 ships, 100,000 ships? I can't remember the old movie poster, but Helen of Troy, the face that launched 10,000 ships. I think other than Helen of Troy, I think every other war was strictly about money. And truthfully, you could probably argue that war with the Trojans and the Spartans was about money as well. So there.
All right. Heath, let's not end on a bad note.
Okay.
It's Fried Baloney Friday, man. One movie left, just like Mad Max, the third installment in 98. We had the fourth installment of this franchise On this day in 98, which movie am I talking about?
Man, I am in college and I'm going to movies. 98. Oh my dear Lord, that's a long time ago. I was working for the Memphis Redbirds back then in the old stadium,
Yeah.
not AutoZone Park, Tim McCarver Stadium. 1998. Let's think, Stephen. Fourth installment.
Yep.
I'm going to say it's not a horror movie.
No. Action.
98 action. I don't know. Go on, tell me.
Danny Glover, Mel Gibson,
Lethal Weapon.
Lethal Weapon 4.
I think Chris Rock is in that one.
Lethal Weapon 4 to end the Stingray show, man.
Oh man, I'll leave you on a. Well, how many lethal weapons were there? Was there 4 or 5?
I have no idea. I don't even
I
think that's
remember Joe Pesci was in those as Leo.
Yeah.
And then they brought in Chris Rock toward the end.
Yeah.
But wow, crazy! Can't believe Chris Rock was in the Lethal Weapon movies.
I know.
Those first 2 were good. I can even tell you. I know I've watched all of them. I can't tell you what happened in Lethal Weapon 3. It's been so long.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'll leave you on something else, Stephen. I thought about you on this as my dog has been ringing that stinking bell to get out to go to the bathroom for like the last 35 minutes of the show. He got right next to me a second ago, was scratching, and I was like, I hope the microphone's not picking that up. The one thing I thought about you when I was on vacation, something I would have talked about on the show, that great Chicago song. It kind of got played out this year. Saturday in the Park must have been the 4th of July.
Yeah.
And July 4th fell on a Saturday this year.
Yes.
And so I purposely, my daughter was taking some pictures and things, and we did that, and we did some family pictures our first night there, which I did not want to do, but we did them. They turned out excellent, actually. And then my daughter did some of her senior pictures down there, and they turned out great. But then my daughter, there was a park close to our Airbnb that we stayed at in Key Colony Beach.
Right.
And she wanted to take some pictures there, and we were in the park. It was July 3rd, and I was like, wow, tomorrow's July 4th, and here we are in the park. And made me think of the song Saturday in the Park must have been the 4th of July.
And oddly enough, the Capitol 4th, which was streamed on PBS, on all of the PBS stations. It was July the 3rd, right there at our nation's capital. Chicago, the group, played up there along with Patti LaBelle and Kool and the Gang. And what did Chicago play? Saturdays.
Did they really?
Park. That is the only fitting that you brought that up.
Stephen, if you find a video of that, send it to me.
Oh, I've still got it recorded on my DVR.
Okay.
I still haven't watched it yet, but I did hear that they did do Saturday in the Park right there at the Capitol.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
You know, Sammy Hagar, I made a post about this on Instagram. Sammy Hagar was getting ready to do some things there at the Freedom 250, I think is what they called the concert, and the president had to cancel it. But artists were canceling because they were saying they were worried about their safety, and one half of the country was upset they're performing, and the other half was upset that they were going to cancel, and nobody was being happy. But Sammy was ready to do it, and then a huge thunderstorm came in.
Yes.
And They had violent weather, severe weather there, and so it just kind of they just canceled the event, which I was kind of sad at because Sammy talked about it. But Stephen, I hate that we're to the part of society, and I think you just have to put your foot down and go through it, and I think once you get to the other side of it, everything will be okay.
Right.
I'll share that with you, Kay.
She's brought that up not once but twice, so I thought we better do it.
And so, but we'll do that. We'll do that. But Stephen, I think if these performers, these artists would have performed their songs once they got finished with it and how awesome it was, I think people would kind of just
Overlooked
chill
it.
out a little bit.
Yeah.
And some people might still hold a grudge for a little bit afterwards.
Right.
And I think they'll kind of chill out a little bit afterwards on that. But we've got to get to a point in our country, our society, and everything where, look, we're not going to agree on everything, and that's okay. That's why we have chocolate and vanilla.
Yeah.
That's why we have free speech and freedom of religion, and we have freedom of choice. Now, there's consequences with every choice that we make. Some of them are good, some of them are bad. And I would encourage everyone to make the choice that's going to be good and put a lot of positivity out there. I know that sounds new age and all that, but we got to get to the point, especially with these country celebrations and music and things, where we come out there. Yeah, I see your flag. Where we just come out and we just celebrate together.
Yes.
No matter if you like it or not, we're all Americans. We all live in the same country. Let's just celebrate together. Let's have some fun with it. So I see your flag.
Actually,
oh, it's USA.
Yep.
I thought it was the flag there. Yeah, I see the USA now.
Yep.
But yeah.
God bless the USA, man.
You dang right about that. What was that terrible Chris Rock movie where he ran for president?
Oh, I remember, but I don't know.
Man, I watched like the last 30 minutes of that movie one time, and I was like, this movie's so terrible.
Yeah.
But it made me laugh. But there was whoever Chris Rock was running against for president, he would always say, God bless America and nobody else. I was like, what? I was like, that's not how that goes.
Yeah.
God bless everybody, period.
Yeah.
You say God bless America, that's okay, but yeah.
Nobody else.
Yeah, God bless America, nobody else. What is that? No one would ever vote for that guy. That's why Chris Rock won presidency of his fictional movie.
All right. Tell us about the dress, man.
All right. So my wife, I think we had gone fishing that day. We had gone fishing that day. And we had come back. We are dead tired. We've been out in the water for, I don't know, 5 hours. 4 or 5 hours. We're dead tired. We've been out in the sun. I try to stay in the shade as much as possible, but fishing, this and that. We came in, we took showers. We're just kind of chilling. It's been hot. It wasn't so much hot, although it was hot. You know, the heat doesn't bother me, but Steven, that humidity was insane down there.
Oh, I bet.
And where you're just sweating profusely all the time.
Yeah.
And I'm just like, holy geez. Anyway, so we come back, we're just kind of resting. We get a shower, we're just kind of resting, recuperating before we go to dinner that night. And so my wife and the girls, they go shopping. And so I'm laying in the bed, I'm about to doze off, and my wife sends me a text and shows me this dress. And I was like, it was, you know, to me, it's just a dress. I'm like, oh, it's a lot. And I will say this. I like colorful things. I like when my wife wears a lot of color. I like wearing shirts with color. I purposely, when I know I'm going to have to take a picture or I'm coming on the show, I will purposely, most of the time, choose a solid color.
Yeah.
If not, I choose a thing of a lot of colors. But I don't get too crazy with it too often. Unless it's Fried Bologna Friday or a holiday or something like that. Then I'll do something fun.
Yeah.
But anyway, she showed this dress. Oh, I could tell by her text that she loved the dress. I was like, well, get it. She's like, no, it's too expensive. And I was like, that's a dangerous conversation when you talk about women's clothing. because too expensive could be $30. It could be $3,000. Like,
Right.
like, what's expensive about it? And so she said it's like $120. I was like, get the dress. My wife planned a heavy majority of the trip. Like, hey, we're going to do family pictures. We're going to go to Alamorada on this day. We're going to do this on this day. We're going to Key West on this day. We're riding the conch train when we're in Key West. We're going to eat here. We're going to do that. We're leaving time for this. We're going to go over our way to take a picture over here. Going to the aquarium. We're going to, so she kind of detailed all the stuff.
Right.
So I'm like, get the dress. You deserve the dress. You planned a wonderful trip. Everyone has had a blast. This has been an awesome vacation. Get the dress. She says, no, I can't do it. I can't spend that money on myself. I'm like, it's too expensive. And so I said, okay, if the dress was $20, would you get it? And she goes, yeah. I'm like, okay, fine. Here's $100. Get the dress. And I'm getting ready to like Venmo her $100. Just get the dress. No, I can't do it. I'm like, what are we talking about here? So anyway, when she gets back on that Saturday, the only reason I remember it was Saturday is because my daughter was like, hey, I want to go down to this park and take pictures in the park. And that's when I had the idea of like, wow, tomorrow's July 4th. We're in the park.
Right.
Saturday in the park, 4th of July. So I get in the car and I was like, do you know where you were with your mother? And I showed her the picture of the dress. She goes, where'd you get that? I was like, your mom texted me this picture. She goes, I know exactly where it is. I was like, take me there now. It is literally the closest store to our condo. My wife started out and was working her way back, and it was the last little boutique shop that they were at. And I was like, do you know your mother's size? Do you know this and that? And she goes, oh, I don't know. I was like, you know what? So I zoomed into the picture. I was like, here's the tag. And so she said, well, Dad, I think there was only one dress left. I was like, well, okay. So we get to this boutique, and I walk into this boutique, and I was like, oh crap! Like it just smelled like don't touch anything or break anything in here because it's a little too rich for my blood. You walk in, you smell it, you see it, you're like, oh my gosh! Don't breathe on anything, don't touch anything. If anything breaks, run it out of the store. And so anyway, we go over. The dress was on clearance, and it was still $120. And so I was like, I don't even want to know what this dress was originally.
Right.
So get the dress, and my daughter is like super happy. My oldest daughter, who's going to be a senior, and she's like, Mom, love this dress. I told her to get it. I was like, I told her to get it. The lady behind the counter said, I even told your wife to get it. And so I could tell that she loved that dress when she put it on. And I was like, is this your store? She said, no. She goes, I sold my store. I come here and work. And this lady was an older lady. And she said, I just come up here and work a couple of days a week. And said, they're all young. They need to spend time with their families. I kind of fill in. I'm like, oh, okay. And she goes, but I owned a store for over 40 years, honey. And she said, when women put on a dress they love, there's a certain smile, a certain way. And she goes, and she had that. I was like, well, I told her to get it. And she said, she even said that out loud. She said, don't you have another daughter? I was like, I do. She's 10. So yeah. And she said, Dad said I should get the dress. So she's like, get it, Mom, get it. And Julie just would not do it for herself. So I get the dress. And anyway, we come back. And anyway, Julie was like, hey, I got a little happy for you. And this was like a couple of days later. She goes, hey, I got a little happy for you. I got you. And she went around and she got everyone a little small happy. And my happy was a brownie at an ice cream shop. I saw a brownie there and I was like, oh my gosh, peanut butter and chocolate Reese's brownie. Like, what in the world is that? Like, I totally want that. I didn't get it because I'd eaten so much. Like, I'm so full I can't eat anything. It was a huge brownie.
Right.
But she got me a brownie. She got, our son something. She got our youngest son like a toy. And, she just got everyone like just a small, simple thing. And so I was like, it's kind of funny. Because I wasn't going to give it to her. I was actually going to save it up and give it to her for our anniversary.
Mm-hmm.
and give her that dress because our anniversary's coming up in less than a month. And I was like, "Oh, I got you a little happy too," because she was eventually going to see our suitcases when we were loading up and getting ready to leave. And this night, like, what is that? Like, you don't need to be asking questions. She would have
Right.
figured it out. She would have figured it out. She listens to crime, murder, mystery, drama stuff all the time. She would have figured it out. And so I got you a little something. And so anyway, she kind of looked at it and she's like, what is this? Where did you get this? Like, don't worry about any of that. And then she stopped and she looked at me and she goes, "You didn't, that's too expensive." I was like, "You don't even know what's in there." And she goes, "Yes, I do." And I just kind of smiled. And so anyway, she opened it up and she was so happy. Well, anyway, about that time, my oldest daughter walked in, and she's like, "Hey, Paige, look," and she's like, "I know, I went with Dad to get it." And she's like, "You took her? When did you go?" I was like, "Well, she said she wanted to go to the park to take pictures. We went by the store first, and then we went and took her pictures because the store and the park were right there together."
Right.
And so and she was like, I can't believe you did this. And she goes, "I need to take it back." I'm like, "Too late. I already asked the lady, can we bring it back? And you can only do in-store credit and this and that. And we're leaving and they're not open on Monday and blah, blah, blah." And so anyway, and I wasn't going to let her take it back. But
Right.
she wore that dress last night and she pranced around and bounced around and she was so happy about that dress. And this morning when she was hanging it up, she put it at the end of the bed last night. We got a little thing at the end of the bed. She just laid it on top of that, a little seat, bench. That's the word I'm looking for. She was hanging it up this morning, and she was like, "I'm so happy about that." It's like I was like, "When are you going to wear it again?" And thinking that she was going to say church or this or that, or
Mhm.
and she goes, "I don't know, but I'm ready to wear it." And she said, "But I'm only wear that dress for special things." And it's a super fun dress. It's a color. It's not a formal dress. It's not anything fancy. It's super colorful, and my wife says it flows, whatever that means. But yeah, she was super excited to wear that dress. And we just went out to eat last night with some friends. But she talked about it. She was so happy about it. She showed that thing off to everybody, and anybody that said, "That's such a beautiful dress. Thank you." So I made her day. So tax and all, I paid like less than $123, I think, for all the compliments that she got and all the smiles that she had and pranced around. It was
Priceless.
definitely worth $123.
Dude, Heath, you should have said priceless.
It is. It is to a point.
You know that
But-
line? You know that commercial? Priceless.
That's right. So, I don't wear the many caps. I bought 2 caps on the trip. I bought one because I know football's coming and I wanted to coach in one. And so I wanted surf style. Steven, have you ever been to a surf style?
Yes.
Yes. Do they play the song after every 2 songs? Surf style, shop for everyone.
I don't
Surf style, fun for everyone.
know. I've never
They
heard
play 2
that.
songs and they play the surf style song. This surf style was like bigger than any Walmart I've seen. I was like, how are we in the Keys? And this is the biggest store you got is surf style.
Right.
And my entire family walked through that store and just stayed in that store. I bet you I'm not exaggerating. We went twice to surf style. I guarantee you, I heard that surf style song over 50 times. And so anytime somebody in the family would say something, or we would drive by, surf style, shop for everyone. So yeah, I mean, it was just crazy. You know what? My son, who's off fishing, sent me a text. Let me pull it up because it made me laugh. Well, here it is. Don't be an ad. Don't be an ad. Don't be an ad. There's an ad. Let me skip the ad.
Surf style, shop for everyone. Surf style, it ain't gonna be fun.
They play this song after every 2 songs.
Right.
Surf style, surf style.
Let's go down today. Surf style, surf style. You know they're on the way.
All right. Heath, we have gone an hour and 50 minutes, but it has been an absolute blast to have you back, man. We are so glad to have you back, although it is the weekend. Of course, hopefully everybody will have a wonderful and cool weekend out there. And Heath, I have to ask you briefly, when you returned, you had an issue with your air conditioner. Are you finally cool?
Yes. I tell you how tired you are when you're in the car for 19 hours and almost 1,200 miles in a single day. Stevie, you know how hard it is to put 1,000 miles in your car in a day?
Yes. Yes.
And I almost put 1,200 on. I got less than 5 hours of sleep, and I drove 19 freaking hours, and I'm still hurting.
How many times did y'all stop during that time?
I filled up with gas the night before.
Right.
Matter of fact, I dropped everyone off at the condo. They were getting showers. I was still dirty. I went straight and got gas because I knew I had to wait for the shower. We had 3 showers in our place. Or no, I'll tell you about two. We had 2 showers in our place. But I dropped everybody off. I went and got gas and filled all the way up, came back, and I started putting in some of the suitcases that I knew that, this suitcase is of dirty clothes that we've already worn. This suitcase is clean clothes that we haven't worn.
Right.
And here's, little knickknacks and things that we bought, because you always come back from vacation more than what you left with.
Yes.
And so, because everyone's got to get a T-shirt or a hat or a nice, beautiful dress or whatever. And so, I was putting stuff in the car, and I was like, okay, now we just got like toiletries and whatever outfit we're going to wear. And so I loaded up the car. Then I went and showered, got ready, and so yeah, we woke up at 3. The plan was to leave at 4. If we could leave by 4, great. We left at 4:20. I was not happy. We're driving. I'm the only one awake. And then Jack, my youngest, my 7-year-old, Jack Dawson. Thank you, Andre Dawson. Happy birthday, Hawk. Jack's like, Dad, I'm going to be sick, which is odd because we're on the overseas highway. We're on US 1. It's just straight.
Right.
That dips and turns and curves and things. And the reason he was sick is because he didn't eat anything for breakfast. We woke him up, said, get in the car. Woke up, put these clothes on, get in the car. And you can go back to sleep. And so he was sleeping. He woke up. He was sick. So we pull over the side of the road. So I had probably driven 100 miles. We're still in the Keys. We're just shy of getting out of the Keys. We pull over the side of the road. Poor little guy just barfs everything up. And and did that. So that was the first stop. And I was like, gosh, dog, we left 20 minutes late. And here we are on the side of the road for 10 minutes. And we had to get some wet wipes out and wipe off his legs. He didn't get it on him, thank goodness. Didn't get it like on his clothes and stuff, but cleaned him up, got him back in the car, started driving. Miami traffic, I hate you. I don't use that word often, hate. Miami traffic, I hate you.
Right.
I'm in Miami at like 5:45, 5:50. Why is there traffic in Miami on like a Monday or Tuesday, whatever day it was?
Right.
Why is there traffic at 5:45 in the morning after July 4th weekend?
Yeah.
And so, yeah, but we get out of Miami, drive past the exit to Coral Gables. I really wanted to get off and go peek at the campus. But
Right.
anyway, we drive through Miami. I drive until Ocala, Florida, which is about an hour. It's about 45 minutes south of Gainesville. So drove about 100 miles, threw up, and then I drove like another 250 miles.
Right.
Stopped in California. I was trying to get to a McDonald's or a Chick-fil-A for breakfast. It's it's after 10 o'clock. I'm like, I can get some breakfast. We stop, we go in, order my breakfast and everything. Nobody wanted McDonald's breakfast. Everybody wanted Chick-fil-A, but that's okay. It's just down the street. Did that. Wait, and I'm just walking in that restaurant. I'm just walking circles in McDonald's because I'm already tired of sitting.
Right.
Sir, it's like 10 minutes after. It's like 10:40. I'm like, what's taking so long? I'm only also ordered a sausage McGriddle and a Coke. What's taking forever? Sir, sorry, we got slammed through the drive-thru. We gave all of our breakfast away. We don't have anything. Do you want something from the lunch menu? No, I do not want anything. Lady, I just drove over 350 miles trying to beat the clock to get here before you get rid of breakfast. And then lo and behold, you gave my breakfast away through the drive-thru to somebody. And so she gave me my money back. We go to Chick-fil-A. Now it's lunchtime. And it's okay because everybody in the car wanted lunch. I was the only one that wanted breakfast. So I was like, okay, I got to eat lunch now. And so we get lunch there in Ocala at the Chick-fil-A. We filled up with gas, get in the car, and we drive. Everybody eats. We go through Gainesville. We cut over to Tallahassee. We start heading into Dothan. And then I had about 100 miles left. And I had to use the bathroom so incredibly bad. So bad. And I was like, we're just going to stop here. They're like, I didn't want to stop, but I had to pee since like before Tallahassee.
Mm-hmm.
And actually, like after Gainesville, I had to pee. And I just held it. I held it for like several hours. Like, okay, we're done. We're done. We're done. We're done. We're done. And so we got out of the car, got some sunflower seeds, got back in the car. We drove all the way from there to Tupelo, Mississippi. And then we stopped. And where did we stop? Chick-fil-A, because it was right next to it. I did not want to stop at Chick-fil-A. My wife did not want to stop at Chick-fil-A. Everybody else in the car wanted to stop at Chick-fil-A. And so we were right there at the Kroger there in Tupelo and Chick-fil-A. I filled up the gas. Kids got Chick-fil-A, and then we came home. So one stop 100 miles, another stop in Ocala, another stop just past Dothan, and then another one in Tupelo. So we stopped 4 times. And yeah.
Jesus.
Yeah. I guess you could say we stopped twice in Ocala, since actually 3 times, because we got gas. We went to McDonald's and Chick-fil-A, but yeah, it was bad. But Steven, I was hurting so bad of sitting and just, you try to stand up, and I got a bum knee anyway. My knee was giving out. I'm like, oh my dear Lord. So, but I purposely walked like over 15,000 steps the day before, knowing that I'm going to be in the car for a long time. I walked 15,000 steps, and then I got in the pool and swam a ton with the kids. And then we get here to the house. It's like 10 o'clock, 10:15 at night. Been up since 3 that morning. And of course we turned the air conditioner off before we went on vacation. Well, we turned it up to like 80 or 81 or whatever we turned it up to.
Right.
So we turned it down.
Bum.
I fell asleep before I came in. I rinsed off. I fell asleep before it got cool. Didn't think anything of it. Didn't think a thing of it. And I did not, Steven, it's the first time in many years.
Right.
I didn't move in my sleep. I fell asleep on my right side. I woke up the next morning on my right side. Sun is up. And I was like, man, it hadn't cooled off yet. And I didn't think anything of it. And I got up, and then when I walked out of my bedroom and walked in to the other side of the house, and it's like cold, I was like, "Oh no!" I immediately knew. I immediately knew.
Right.
Let's hope it's just Freon. Yeah, I got it fixed. It's cool now. We had to go a day without it, and that was okay. I was out running around trying to get some stuff done anyway, and
Right.
so had a huge fan blowing on us, but Steve and I was still so tired from the day before. Yeah, I slept hard that next night.
Right.
I've slept hard every night we've come back. I'm still so tired. I could. I'm not going to. I could get in the bed right now. I guarantee you, I could sleep for 2 or 3 hours right now.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, gonna try to get some stuff done. I'll probably turn in early tonight. I'll probably turn in early all weekend,
Right.
and hopefully Monday I'll be back to normal and getting back to it.
That's when we will see you again, Heath, because we're not going to be here tomorrow. We're not going to be here on Sunday, but the Heath Hopkins is back on the Stingray Show. And, buddy, we will have a fun show on Monday. And then next Tuesday, we have a wrestling guest that we have confirmed that I have been working on. And Heath, should we tell everyone who it is?
Absolutely.
Jonathan Coachman, the former WWE, WWF general manager, and then host of SportsCenter at ESPN.
Yeah, I always wondered about his transition from
Yep.
SportsCenter to the WWE.
Well, it was WWE to SportsCenter.
Well, yes. I guess I did say that backwards.
Yeah.
I always wanted to hear about that transition and going from one to the other. And
Right.
Was it just life on the road, or what was it that drew you in and out of the WWE? What drew you to and away from and going to SportsCenter? And just want to hear all the fun of that.
Yeah.
Someone's life journey. I always enjoy the story and the stories about the journey. So look forward to that. Okay, I see your text. Jack got a shark tooth necklace, and yeah, he's been wearing that.
Right.
He also bought a bandana with American sunglasses. So I was like, oh man, you rocking it now. You got a red bandana, red, white, and blue stars and stripe sunglasses, and your navy blue shark necklace.
Yep.
So yeah, the fashion sense of a 7-year-old is much like John Cena.
All right. So, Heath, we have gone 2 hours now. This is the longest show that we have done. But hey, you're back, and it's been a fun show. I'm talking all about your travels down in Key West. If you would, sign us off so you can go let the dog out before he does his business in the house.
Don't say that. Oh, sayonara. Good Lord willing, we won't see you tomorrow, but we hopefully will catch you on Monday. If you get a chance, go enjoy a fried bologna sandwich.
Yes.
Here on this Fried Bologna Friday. And hey, we're on the backside of summer.
Yeah.
Enjoy it, enjoy it, enjoy it. I know my kids start school here at the end of the month, Stephen. So they've only got like 2-3 more weeks of summer. So
right.
we'll try to make it happen. I'm going to take them to some movies. Have some fun with them. Maybe go bowling. Might try to squeeze in a trip to the lake one weekend. I doubt that happens, but maybe we will.
Yes.
And yeah, we're going to keep going from there. So, Stephen, what's big on your agenda for the weekend?
Trying to stay cool, my friend. Trying to stay cool.
Sadly, I have got yard work to do. I needed to cut grass when I got back, but it has rained. We have these pop-up showers. It will rain for 14 minutes, 3 minutes, 11 minutes.
Yeah.
And every time the yard almost gets dry, pop-up storm, 6 minutes. So, yeah, I can hear my grass growing.
Right.
It's bad. I got to get out there and do it.
Well, Heath, let me leave you with this. Welcome back to the Stingray Show. And Heath, go and enjoy all of the pina coladas for all of us this weekend. We will catch you on Monday.
Brother, I'm drinking water and Dr. Pepper for the rest of the weekend. I can tell you that.
And hey, go and indulge your weight in French fries for National French Fry Day. Gotta leave on food and drink here on the Stingray Show.
I'll trade my French fries and pina coladas in for bull shrimp any day of the week.
Yes, sir. See you Monday, my friend. Glad to have you back. When it comes to farm, garden, and outdoor living in West Alabama, there's one name the locals trust: Tuscaloosa Farmers Co-op. Located at 4301 McFarland Boulevard in Northport, Alabama, the co-op has everything you need to keep your land, home, and hobbies thriving. From farm and garden supplies to hunting gear, farmhouse gifts and decor, and locally made items, they've got it all under one roof. Need seeds, seasonal flowers, or fresh vegetables? You'll find them here, plus pet supplies and year-round propane tank exchanges to keep things running smoothly. Stop by today and see why Tuscaloosa Farmers Co-op has been serving our community since 1961, where quality and hometown service come together. Call them today at 205-339-8181. Once again, that is 339-8181. The Tuscaloosa Farmers Co-op, your local partner for everything farm, garden, and outdoors. The temperatures are heating up, and whether you're working on the land or heading out on the water, the equipment you rely on matters. From tractors and implements to bass boats and pontoons, life doesn't slow down when something goes wrong. That's where Alpha Insurance comes in. They offer coverage designed to protect both your farm equipment and your time on the water. Call the Jeff Nee Agency of Alpha today at 205-462-8192. Once again, that is 205-462-8192, or the number on your screen. Alpha Insurance, covering what moves you on land and on the lake. Spring has sprung, and now is the perfect time to stock your lakes with fish such as bluegill, minnows, threadfin shad, and tilapia. If this is something you're interested in, make sure to call Honey Hole Fisheries and biologist Jeff Bagwell. He can be contacted at 205-799-0192. Once again, that is 205-799-0192. Jeff Bagwell and Honey Hole Fisheries also offers Texas Hunter products, including fish feeders. Now, if you're wondering about the population of your lake when it comes to fish, they also offer Shocking of Lakes to give you a full in-depth report on your lake with fish population. If you're interested, contact Honey Hole Fisheries once again at 205-799-0192. He will be happy to help you build the lake of your dreams. Ladies and gentlemen, Bill Ferguson of South's Finest Meats, the official sponsor of the Stingray Show, has a message for you.
Everything we do here is fresh and custom made, custom to order. You know, I tell people when they come in, you know, if you don't see what you like, ask somebody. You know, we've got the capability to process it, make it. You know, if you want a different blend of hamburger meat, we'll do you a brisket blend. We'll do you a chuck blend. We'll do you a sirloin blend. You know, we do all that right here. We are a butcher shop. That's what we do. So please don't be afraid to ask if you don't see what you like. We can make you any size patty you want. We can make you any amount you want. You know, people call me and say, well, how many patties come in the box? Well, ma'am, how many would you like in a box? You know, you want 12, we'll put 12. You want 25, we'll put 25.
That's just one of the many things that South's Finest Meats has to offer, the official butcher shop of the Stingray Show.